Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next dose of our Increase Your Work Efficiency at Workplace webinars. From today and onwards, we will be conducting our webinars based on Microsoft Power BI. I believe most of you have already downloaded the desktop version, and with, we can just go ahead with this session. Khurram, can you hear me? Am I audible? Khurram?
Yes, what have you said? Your voice is echoing.
I was just asking. Okay. I'm saying we can start the session. You may take over. The participants already know about you. I don't think there would be a need for an intro, but if you want, you can.
No, no,
Rest, you can
I
start.
don't. No, I don't think they need my intro. But I think this is my fifth session with them.
Yes.
Well,
A lot of information that has been transferred already.
I think,
So,
gentlemen, I
fine.
think it's important that we talk about the objectives of these sessions, Power BI. What was the basis of selecting certain content as opposed to leaving certain other content? So I think that is important if you can share that with the participants.
Okay, fine. Okay, let's begin. Thank you very much, Harun and Feroz. I welcome you all on this webinar on Power BI. Okay, we have 4 consecutive sessions on Power BI. We will discuss today the basics, the overview, and some of the working thing that we can do with the Power BI. As far as, okay, let me go through one by one. What are the objectives of this session? Okay, Power BI is primarily a tool for data visualization and putting your data into meaningful information. Transform your data into an information so that you and your colleague can visualize and look into the data and make appropriate decisions. So that is one of the things that Power BI does for us. It also provides certain meaningful or action, right? We all know that data is around us. We can get data from different sources, right? And when we have the data at one place, we can combine, we can organize, we can structure, we can connect different sources of data at one place. We can transform that data into a form which is more meaningful, more understandable, right? They provide different understanding, and on the basis of it, we can make decisions, and these may be the good one for you and for your organization. Okay. As far as the content of these Power BI concern, our main focus is on Power BI desktop functions and functionality. There are two things that we need to understand. One is that there are two components of Power BI. One is the Power BI desktop, other is the Power BI service. Power BI service is for publishing your reports over the cloud. You can share your reports and dashboard over the cloud with the colleagues, with your colleagues, right? And in order to use the Power BI service, we need to buy a license from Microsoft, which is the Power BI Pro, which is, I guess, $9 per year per user. So if you want to buy one Power BI Pro license, that's a free. But in this webinar, our main focus is on Power BI Desktop, which is free. You can download from the Power BI from the Microsoft website. Uh, if you can see my screen, uh, this is the link, right? This is the URL from where you can download the Power BI Desktop. Desktop is a tool where you can connect data from different sources. You can create dashboards and reports where you can develop a data model, where you can extend your data model, where you can develop measures to be used uh, uh, for visualization, right? So here in Power BI Desktop, we will be doing the development of the of dashboards and the reports. So how we make different features of Power BI, right, in order to do so. But once uh, your Power BI reports or dashboards are created, are developed, then we can push that Power BI or reports to the cloud. But we can only do so if we have a Power BI Pro license, right? Once we have that, by it, we can use the Power BI service. So our focus in this webinar will be only on the development of the dashboard and the report using Power BI Desktop, which is free, right? So that is the objective of these Power BI webinars, right? So I hope you have downloaded this Power BI work, desktop from this website and installed into your machine. Once you have installed, right, uh, then when open it, it will look like this. Right? So this is uh, the interface of Microsoft Power BI Desktop. Here you can see uh, that there is one window which is at the top of the interface. With Power BI Desktop, it has three uh, uh, panels, right? One is the Power BI Desktop, some of the basic things that get data. So I can get data for the new report, right? Then the recent sources, I can connect to the recent sources that I've worked with. And these are some of the uh, dashboards and the reports I'm working right now. Uh, top vendor analysis, right? So this is the report I'm working. Sales insight is the report I'm working. The top performance is the report I'm working. Of the reports, the currently reports you can find it, right? Then we have the collaborate and share. So you can sign in to publish the report, but you have to have the Power BI Pro license for that. Then there is something that you can look into. So Power BI log, forums, tutorials. So these are the things that you can look into if you want, right? The one thing that I should tell you here right now that it is Power BI is maturing, is evolving. Uh, all almost each month, the Microsoft launches a new version, the updated version, right? And has the uh, to upgrade there and then. Whenever you uh, open the Microsoft Power BI desktop, it will ask you to upgrade it or not, right? So the version that I'm using is sorry, is the latest one, right? Uh, so once you have downloaded it, installed it, uh, then there is every chance that next month there is a new version, and you can just upgrade it by clicking one of the button, right? So this is something that we need to do. Okay. If you this is the these are the learning objectives that we want to have, right? So our objective is a basic to intermediate level of this tool, right? We should know the Power BI service and Power BI desktop. We have already uh, discussed a bit of it, right? Understand the business intelligence workflow. So how, uh, where is the data, and the whole process from getting the data and putting the data into a dashboard and putting into a cloud. That is the workflow we will discuss in that. Blend and transform raw data uh, into beautiful interactive dashboards. So our reports and our dashboards will be interactive, right? Then visualize and analyze data and drive insight. How we can look data from different perspectives. So that we will look into. And the most important aspect is that design and implement the same BI tools used by professional analysts and data scientists. So at the end of these 4 sessions, you will be able to do this. You should know the various functions and functionalities of the Power BI desktop and use it as a professional data analyst or a data scientist. So these are uh, the objectives of these 4 sessions, right? So let me close that and let's get back to it. Okay, so this is the interface of uh, your Power BI desktop. Now, in the Power BI desktop, sorry. Okay. So in this Power BI desktop, you see different things. So you know Excel interface already. So in the this is called the title bar. This is the bars we have, which we call it a tab, and it has the ribbon. The structure of Power BI interface is almost identical with the rest of the Microsoft Office tools, right? Uh, so we have, if you look at here, we have file, home, insert, and this is the new thing. That is the modeling. We have for modeling, we uh, we can implement the data modeling concept to build our data model, right? So uh, we will make use of some of the feature from this ribbon. And then we have 3 different buttons right over here, right? This is for the report. If you click that, this is your dashboard or report will be placed here. Then we have uh, the table section. Right here, we have the data pane. This is called the data. Uh, whatever data sources we have connected to and whatever data, uh, you can look at the raw data when you click this. And this is for creating a relationship. When we have different data sources and we fetch data from uh, fetch different tables from different sources, so we have to integrate into one data model by creating a relationship. Step of linking different tables, right, is known as a relationship. We will, uh, this is the pane where we can link data, link different tables here. And in in a way we are creating a relationship. We will also different types of a relationship, one to one, one to many, and stuff like this, right? And when I click this button, which is the report button, this will bring you uh, the canvas. This is called a canvas. And here we have the filters. So we will be working some of the filters. Uh, if we want to filter our reports, not on the canvas, not on the dashboard, but say, for example, we want to put our data for current year only or the last year only. So we can make use of this filter pane in order to apply filters. For example, the data of 2021 only. So 2021 only, if I apply the filters here in this panel, whatever dashboard or whatever report that is on the canvas will be filtered or will always be showing that data of 2021. Then I have a visualization pane. This is a different visualization here, right? If you hover your pointer here, you can see it's a stack bar chart, right? It's a stack column chart. It's a cluster bar chart. It's a pie, a donut chart, etc., etc. So we have different visualization built in the desktop version. So we will be making use of these, right? And see how easily it is to use this visualization with the data we have. I have another things, that is the values and the stuff like this. So if create my year, I can use it here. I have to drag the column name here. Just we did it in the pivot table stuff, right? Then the desktop will, sorry, the Power BI make use of this data and present that data into one of the selected visualization, right? So this is the very brief overview of the interface. Okay. Now, what I will do now, I have in this pane, we have the handouts. If you look at here, these are the 5 handouts for the today's session. We have right now, maybe tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, I will be taking a new data set. Today's session is, the objective of today's session is to make ourselves ready for the more complex concept, right? So we will be discussing only the basics of what Power BI functions and functionalities are, and making use of these two, right? So that is one thing. So we have this data you can download from here. We have the city TB Excel file, we have the effect TB Excel file, then we have the product TB, and we have the sales report TB Excel file. These are the 4 Excel files we are working with today. You can download it from okay. So we have this data and before moving to developing a dashboard or understanding the various concepts of Power BI, look at the data that we have here. So this is the data, right? So in fact, there are 5 tables. This is the, we will be developing in Power BI. This is the table we will be developing using the different tables, right? So the city table, the fact table, the product table, and sales. So if I open this, you will see that there are 4, 5 rows of data, right? We have a table named CTTV, right? And in which I have only 2 tables. One is the code and other is the city. Similarly, if you look at the different table, the product table, in the product table, I have uh, 5 rows of data. This is the code. This is the product date, dummy name of the products. Uh, this is the profit margin, and this is the price, maybe in terms of rupees or maybe in terms of dollars, whatever. So this is the profit margin, this is the price, and then the last is the sales. So we will see that we have the 1, 2, 3, 5 salesperson with these sales rep. So all these are different uh, uh, different table. We will use this data, right? We will combine all of these 4 tables into a one data model using the Power BI. It's very, very simple, straightforward. Let's do it. And every uh, Excel file, right? So let's get the data. Now the import data from Excel, we can use this right from here. You can get the data from SQL Server if you want to paste data into a blank table. That you can do by data set. You can also use that, but we will be focusing on today's data. Now let's get data. In the Home tab, in the Data group, click the Get Data. Once you click Data, so these are some of the data sources currently it uh, provides. So it means that Power BI uh, has a connector, right? Is a compatible connector that can data from different sources of these types. We have the Excel workbook, we have the Power BI data set, data pro data, SQL Server, analysis service, text, CSV. We can get data from the web, right? And if I click more, then it will give you more data sources. So it will take a bit of time and look at here. So these are the complete list, right? We have XML, we have PDF, we have uh, database, Access database, Oracle database, IBM DB database. There are long lists, right? So these are some of, not some of the long, very, very long list, quite a useful list you can get data from, right? So that's it. So get the data from the Excel workbook. So get data, Excel workbook. We have the access data, these scores. Let's get one by one. City, it will take a bit of time and it will connect to that folder. Now connecting. Please wait while establish a connection to CTT. So it's take a bit of time. What actually is doing it? It's creating a connection with that access, right? Once it is done, right? Now it will give this thing. Now we have city table ones, we have city TV. If you click one of those, you can have a look on the preview. So this is the data I have, city table. If you uncheck this one, if you check this one, this is the same data. So this is the table, this is the right? Now I can load and transform. So since the data is very simple, I'm not going into the details of use transform data. That is the task of tomorrow. That if we have the data from different sources and it is not normalized, or it has different format conflicts, data type conflicts, and stuff like this, we can make use of the transform data. And in Microsoft Excel, it is used. It is known as Power Query. So we will do that tomorrow. But here I'm loading this data right now, right? And apply changes, uh, creating a connection model, and then it will be uh, it will take a long time. Okay, so getting the data, 5 rows are loaded, right? And we should see somewhere here in the fields pane, it is at the back side of, if I hide this, uh, now look at here, here's the field pane. Now I have one uh, file connected, and if you look at here, and these are the two columns of that. Now let me get the work, the rest of the workbook. I will expect. Let me. Okay, it has to be one by one. It has to be one by one. So uh, tomorrow I will create a data model by myself, so we don't need to go into the details of this. Uh, so I'm sorry. Uh, the third table, now it won't take too much time. It should not. So we have another table. Now this the product we have loaded. Now the last one. So we have city table, we have fact table, right? And now the product table, and the last table is uh, sales rep table. So once it is there, uh, Excel table, and so we have city table. In our, we have the fact table, we have the product table. So the last table, which is the sales rep table, and then load. Now here we have 4 tables, right? Right now, 4 table in our data table, data is connected, loaded into this data model. Now I can right now create a report or a right over here. But before that, let's look at the data, what we have the data in 4 tables. Now this is the data. Click that one, select any of the one, for example, the city. Now in this table, we have 2 columns called code and city. Uh, let me explain a bit that why these are the 2 columns. In this table, we have 5 cities and we have assigned a code to each of the cities. So 1 represents Lahore, 2 represent Karachi, 3 represent Sialkot, and so on. Similarly, look at this product table. So I click the a product PV. We have these 5 rows, 5 records. We have assigned product A to, sorry, code 1 assigned to product A, 2 to product B, and so on and so forth. And similarly, in last week, the sales rep, 5 sales reps, and assign one code to each of the sales reps. So one represents name, two represents it, and so on and so forth. And there is a reason for it. We will discuss it in a bit. Now we have the fact table. If you click the fact table, so we have the date here, right? We have the date column, we have the city code, we have the sales rep code, and we have the product code and the quantity. Now, this is city, right? And we have in this column a code. This code represent the location, which is if I go to the city, the fourth is Sargodha, right? So 4 means Sargodha. If I go back to the fact table, so all these 4, these are all the things that is represented by Sargodha. And similarly, the sales rep 3, whatever the sales rep 3 is represented by this code will be shown here. Now, we are using the code in this file. When we integrate our data model, it is not integrated yet. By integration, I mean I have I have to create a relationship. Once I create a relationship, I will be able to replace by their respective description. Right? So this data means on Thursday, January 12th, 2017, in this city, some salesperson has made a sale of this product, and he sold out 19 units. So this is what it means. Right? So we have seen the data. Now look at the model. Now we are creating a data model. So these are the 5, rather the 4. We have the fact table. We have okay. Now there is good thing and a bad thing. Good thing and a bad thing is that if you are working with a standard database, Excel is not a database, remember that. If we have a standard database such as Microsoft Access, SQL Server, right, Oracle, then whatever relationship were created in that database will be auto detected. So that is the good thing, right? We don't need to create the relationship from the scratch. And the bad thing is that if you look at these 4 Excel files, in these 4 Excel files, the code, we have code here, and we have code here. The column name is identical, but these are in 3 different tables. Power BI, right, identified as an identical thing and represent the same thing, but actually it is not. In this table, sales rep table, this code represents this sales rep. Here, this code represents some sort city. Here, this code represents a product. So the context is different. Although the label of the column label is the same in these 3 tables, but the context is different. So what we need to do, we need to modify relationship, rather we need to delete it or make it from the scratch or modify it correctly. So what we need to do? We have the product table, we have the city table, and we have the sales table. All the instances of these three records are merged somewhere here, which is in the fact table. So it means we have to link these three tables with this table. We need to delete this. So in order to delete this, what you need to do? Right click, hover on this, and right click and delete it. So we are deleting this. Similarly, we need to delete this, and we also need to delete this. So we also need to delete this. Okay, so these are the four tables we have now, and now or rather creating a correct relationship. So we have seen that we have the product code is in the fact table. So here is the code which represent products. So what we need to do, we need to create a relationship code, and this code, because here is the product code, the column label name is product code. Here it is the code, but in fact this code represent this code. So what we can do, we can just hover our mouse pointer on code, click the left button, right, and drag it to the product code and release your button. Once we see there is a line, and this column is now linked with this column of this table. So we have created a relationship between these two tables. Similarly, you need to do the same with the city. This is the code for the city, and we have the city code here. So this is, we have created, and this is the code for sales rep, and this is a sales rep code. So do the same with this as well. So we have created a relational data model. So now, one simple or rather very important concept. One is known as the star schema. This is the database concept. We need to understand this concept to make the good and the correct use and the efficient use of the Microsoft Power BI. And that is reduce all of your relationship into one-to-many. Now, what is meant by one-to-many? One-to-many is simply means that one table, we have only one instance of one record for this code. If you look at this table, which is the city table, we have one instance of Lahore, we have we have one instance of Karachi, and so on and so forth, right? So each record is one. We have code here in this table, and it occurs only once. I repeat, in this table, the code value is not repeated. It occurs only once in this table. But if you look at the fact table, I'm focusing on the city, right? So in the fact table, you can see we have the city code 4 for Sargodha. In this table, the code from the city occurs many a time. In the city table, it occurs only once. But in this table, it occurs more than once, right? If you look at, we have 4, 4, 4, then we have 5, right? Then we have 2, and then I'm just scrolling it, then we have 1, and then we have 3 as well. So we have port 1, we have port 2, we have port 3. All these ports of city are many times. So if you look at this model, now it means in this table, this record of code occur only once, but the instance of this code in this table occurs many times. So that is what it meant by one-to-many relationship. Same is the case with this. We have city code occurs once in this table, but we can see there are occurrence of this code many a times in this table, and same is the case with. So this is what is meant by uh, one-to-many relationship. There are many other relationship which is many-to-many. Many-to-many means that we may have a scenario where we have a table in which this city occurs many a times, and here we have many a times code occurs of this. So we can create the many-to-many relationship. Similarly, we have many-to-one. If I reverse this into many-to-one, it means it is the two-way uh, different concept, uh, and there is another concept of joins using the different relationship. The best relationship that you may create is one-to-many, and that should be the case. And one-to-many relationship among different tables of a or a database is called a star schema, and that is what is required in Power BI. So this is the basic concept of the data model and the relationship. Let me very quickly create a simple dashboard, right? So I have this relationship, I have this set of data, right? And I have this canvas. Now the data model is there. I can use the data model. I can use this data model to create dash and stuff. Let's see how. This is, for example, I want to look at uh, the city. If I click city, right, you can see we have a table, and in this table, uh, we have this pop-up. Now this is a map, and right now we have the visualization. It is used, right? I can now look at that how many quantities have been sold. So what can I do? I can minimize this one, go to the fact table, and I can click this one. Once I click, and you may see that this is actually the visualization of these two. If I, okay, so we have Sargodha here, right? We have, this is the Lahore, this is the Faisalabad, and this is the Sialkot, right? So these are some of the things that we can do. Now, another thing is that I don't want this visualization. Rather, I want to look the data uh, in a table format. In order to do so, you just need to select something from the visualization. And these are the two important visualizations. In fact, not visualization, but it is said It is a visualization, is a table visualization, and is a matrix visualization. Matrix visualization is some sort of a pivot table. Work maybe today or maybe tomorrow, but let's be a table. So we have this table. Now, this is a table, and you can see then we have 5 cities. We have Faisalabad, Karachi, and stuff like this. You can sort this data very easily if you hover over your pointer on the city, right? And if you click this will now sort it. And if you want to say in a descending order, so click this one. Now S come first and F Faisalabad. Similarly for quantity, right? This is the descending order. If you want an ascending order, so this is the ascending order. So this is how you can. Now you want to represent into this form. Just go to the visualization and click, for example, the clustered column chart. Once you do that and you see that what will happen, your data is represented. This data is quantity by city. Now, if you want to say change this data, for example, not quantity by city, rather quantity. So uncheck the city one. So this is city, uncheck it, right? Go to the product and click the product. Now you can see I have the different options and I want to represent it in a different way, maybe form, right, into this form, whatever form that I want to do. I want to use the pie chart, the donut chart, right? Then I can use the funnel chart and the stuff like this. So here you can do a lot of different stuff with this, right? So this is what the basics is. Now let's go back to the table stuff. Now this is the product, and now I can filter this data. I can filter data very easily, right? For example, I want to look at the data. For example, uh, the product D, how many units of product D is sold, right, in Sargodha or maybe in a particular country. So in order to do so, what we need to do, we need to field panel, right, and drag this city, right, and drag it and put it in the canvas. So here is the canvas, but this is the map visualization, and we want to convert it into a slicer. So how to do that? It's very simple. Just go to visualize, look at for the table. It is look at the slicer option. You can see here we have a slicer option just under the map visualization. Now click this one and we have uh, this visualization transform into a slicer. Now, if I want to look at the data in terms of uh, uh, the Faisalabad, that this report is filter the Faisalabad, I just need to click Faisalabad. So this is Faisalabad. Now, if I say I want to change, for example, I want to uh, the first column should be the product and the second should be the quantity. What we can do, select this table to visualization, and in the value part, look at we have the quantity and we have the product. What you need to do, you just need to drag it, select the product, and move it at the quantity, and you see it is changing, right? Uh, this is something that we have already learned in the pivot table as well. But the good thing about is that we are in the Power BI. Power BI can do a lot of things with this, right? So now what I want to do now, I want to see that how much sale we have done, right, in different cities and in different for different products, right? In this table, we have only quantity. So this is the quantity, right? But we don't find any information about the information in the price is somewhere in the product table. In the product, if you look at it, I have the code, I have the price, I have the product, and the profit margin. So if I want to calculate the profit as well, so I can make use of this. But how? That is the key question. Okay. Now the next step. But before moving to the next step, is there any question? Is there any questions? Is there any questions?
Yes,
So Firoz,
yes, there are some questions, Forum. Let's just check out these. Sayed Asif wants to know how to show added tables in fields instead of visualizations.
sorry, say it again.
Sayeda Asif wants to know how to show added tables in fields instead of visualizations.
Okay, if you want to look at the table, there is one thing that you need to do. If you look at this panel, right, left of the canvas, this is the canvas, right, where you put your data is a canvas. On the left of the canvas, you find three buttons here, right? This is for the canvas, this is for the relationship, and this is for the data, right? Now, at present, it shows the data of fact table. If you want to look at the data of different tables, you just need to click one of the table. For example, I want to look at sales table. So this is the sales table. This is the product table. This is the fact table. This is the city table, right? Here we can look the data, the raw data of the table, right? I guess that is the question. Because you are not uh, audible clearly
Yes,
today.
I think that
I
would
hope that is the
suffice.
question.
Uh, Sorry.
Ma'am, today's you are not audible clearly, so maybe if that is the question, that is the so.
Yes, that was
Uh,
the question. Am I audible now?
yes, better.
Okay. So there is another question from Taimur Ali. Do we make a relationship without defining primary key?
Okay, so uh, that are rather good question, right? Uh, in the access while in the access seminar uh, webinar, we I just touched the concept of what is the primary key, right? How we can create a primary. If you look at this table, if I look and I define primary key as a key, right? That is not repeatable, right? It is not duplicated in a table. Number one. So one of the characteristics of a primary key is what in a table one if we decide it as to be the primary key, we need to look at the column values, right? Whether the values in this column are repeated or not. So if the values in the column are not repeated, are not duplicated, it means that this column is a candidate for a primary key. So that is one thing. So the primary key is one whose value is not duplicated or not repeated, number one. Number two, it should uh, identify one instance of a record, or it only identify one instance or one individual. For example, if you look at this table, we have a city column, right? The values are not duplicated, right? So this is the candidate for a primary. And if I now I know that if I press 1 in this context, it should represent Lahore and only Lahore, right? It cannot represent Karachi, Sialkot, or anything else other than Lahore. So these are the two characteristics of that can be considered while uh, identifying it as a primary key. So that is one thing. Whether to select it as a primary key, that is a different question, right? They have alternatives. For example, in say the student database maybe, right? In the bank database maybe, there are two candidates for the primary key. One primary key is the account number. So account number can be considered as a primary key because it, right? The second may be the email address. It won't be duplicated, right? And the third one is the NIC number, national ID card number. That is the third column that can be considered as a primary key, right? So these are the different variations. So what column should we use for the primary key? We can use the account number, right? Or we may use the uh, NIC number. So these are the one of the two keys that we may use as a primary key. So once it is done, then how to use it, right? So the use of the primary key is to create a relationship. And this is the relationship we done. So we have the primary key, which is the code, but this code is being used in the fact table, but here it's more than once. So the usage of this table of this column values here in this will become the foreign key. So we have used this and use this in order code of the product and the code of this product code. So use this primary key in order to create a relationship. I guess that answers the question. Last question. G. Feroz.
Okay, the last question, Hasnain Mahmood. Hasnain Mahmood wants to, it is rather a very basic question. I believe you might answer this in a while, but still I'll read it up. Can we edit the attached file, Excel files, if we want, once we establish the relationship between them? He basically wants to know, once we have built relationships between 2 or 3 different tables, can we edit those tables after that?
Okay, this is the data model we have, right? This is the data model we have, and we can add as many data tables, whether it is in Excel, it is or anything, we can add it. So there is uh, uh, you can do whatever you want to do. Any table, CSV, Access, Oracle, whatever. So the answer is yes. After creating a relationship, you can add as many tables as you can, right? So let's move forward now, right? So I hope the questions are answered. now move to the next level. The next level is we want to make use of the price column, which is right over here, the price column, and determine the sales. So how we can do this? So I'm using the first uh, I'm using the first DAX function. So DAX function here is what? DAX functions are the functions that are used to create uh, that are used to create just hang on for a minute. Okay, sorry about that. I'm suffering from flu and the cold, right? So, okay, now what I'm doing right now, I'm making use of one DEX function, and that is a very simple function. Now, what you need to do? So, what we want is that we want this price is the price from here, right? So, this is the product table. We have the price, right? And I want to put that price in this table, which is this one. So fact table, this is the fact table to get the price right over here. Whatever the product code is, I don't know, but if it should right over here. So what you need to do, we have a new table, new column. So we have the calculated column. So new column, right? We need to just click here a new column. Now we have a column, and then we see what will happen. So the column will be the price, right? Or the PRD price, whatever tag you want to put it, right? Product price, and then is equal to related. So related is our first DEX function, related, right? So I just related. PRD price is the name of the column that will be inserted here, is equal to related is the name function. And since our data model is related, so where I'm inserting this column in the fact table. So fact table is related with the product table, and the relationship is one to many. There are many instances of the product code in the fact table. So what I want the value of the price, right? And it should be displayed at the corresponding column of the product. And you can see there are many instances. We have the product table. This is the product table. In this product table, we have a price here. So just select this one or type as it is. Now, when I press enter, you can see what. So we have the product code 4 and the price is 40. Let's move back a little downward, and we have somewhere the product may be 1 and the product price is 10. And similarly, somewhere down, you can see the 30 and the product is 30, right? The price is 30, right? Now we can see table. This is the product table, right? The product A is 10, the code is 1, the product C is 30, the price is 30, right? And the fourth is 40. Right? So you can see with the help of the related fact text function, what we did, we import the of the product price and put in this column. It is just like the VLOOKUP function, right? That's easy. Now we can add, and now we have the quantity, we have the price, so we can add another column, which is the new column, and we can now, now we have the sales. This is the name of the column, and now we have the quantity and we have the product price. So we have the quantity, we need to put a bit of a difference in the syntax, right? So we have to use this one, but rather it is better to use this nomenclature. So fact means fact table. Let me this. Now fact TB is the name of the table, as quantity is the column that is present in the fact table. Now multiply this, right, by the fact table, right, the fact table and PRD price. Now we have the fact TB is the name of the, whereas the PRD price is a column present in this table. Now click enter, and these two values will multiply it, and we get the sales transaction, sales number, right? So we have now the sales column, we have the price, and these two are derived from other table, which is the product table, right? We have the product table, we have get the price from the product table, and then we make use of this column to multiply it with quantity in order to get the. So this is the simpler version of doing this stuff. Maybe later today we might be using something else to have the same impact, or maybe we will be doing today. But now make use of this sales in the canvas, in the report. Now we have the quantity here. Now we want to get the sales. Now in the fact table, you can see I have another column here. So this is the city, this is the date, and this is the price. Now if you look at symbols at the back of the PRD price and the sales, this indicate that are calculated columns. Now if I go back, these are the columns that we have got from the data source, right? So the date, the city code, sales, this, and quantity. So these are the original columns. These are the added columns, right? And these added columns are known as the calculated column. And if we go back here, so this indicates that these are not the original columns of the table, rather these are the derived column or the calculated column. Now, what we can do, we can just select the sales and drag it here, and you can see we have the sales. Now we have the sales in Faisalabad. Now the sales of the product is this much, is this much, right? Now it's so simple. So So this is what it is. Okay. Now, the second thing that we need, we are doing the same stuff, but in a different way. Now, instead of developing a columns, okay, developing or deriving a column in this table, I'm using another term that is known as a Mayer. And remember, this is one of the most important concept of Power BI, the Mayers. I repeat, a Mayer, the Mayer. What is a Mayer? Mayer is a calculation that we create with the help of DAX functions, right, to get the desired output without developing a calculated column. Right? I want to have this impact, right? I want to get the values of the sales, but in a different way. I don't want to create. Uh, I don't want to have this column, the PID price here. I don't want to have a sales column here. The bad thing about creating the calculated column is if your data set is large, is huge, then your file size will be enhanced, right? And your data set become heavy, and it is it is quite cumbersome to publish it, upload later, to refresh it later, right? So the efficient way is to create a Mayer instead of calculated column. Yes, at times we do need calculated columns, right? But if we can create a Mayer, then our option is to create a Mayer. If the output is not retrieved or obtained by developing a Mayer, then we can use the calculated column, right? Now let's develop a column, not a column, a Mayer, right? Uh, how we can do that is very, very simple. But before that, go to the just go to the canvas. Here is the data, and we have one thing which is the data. So I'm creating a dummy or a empty table. I'm creating a empty table, and I want an empty table that can hold my years, right? I can create a Mayer in the city table. I can create a table in the fact table as in the product table or the sales rep. But I don't want the Mayers to be created and stored in these tables. Rather, I want to have a new table. Let it be what I actually did. I just press this enter key from the from the data group, right? Home tab, data group, enter data, and it will the create table dialog box. Here I can enter a value here, but I don't want to. But I can use this table. Mayers I will create. It helps me to locate Mayers easily, right? It helps me to not only locate, to use Mayer easily, right? So let it be Mayers table. this is the technique that majority of the Power BI user uses. So this is the Meyer table, PBL. I'm creating it, loading it, and you will see somewhere here I have one table with the name Meyer table, right? Somewhere here. So and we have somewhere here Meyer table. So this is the Meyer table. Okay. Here we don't have any column other than the empty column. Now in the Meyer table, select the Meyer table. As soon as you select it, you can see we have the calculation here. We have the new Meyers, we have the new column, we have the new table and stuff like this. Either you can click this, or here you can right click and select new Meyer. As soon as you select the new Meyers, this will provide you a place to write your Meyers. Now here is the Meyer. We have the Meyer name. Meyer name may be the total sales, right? You can have this total spaces in between. I have equal to sign, right? And I am using another DEX function which is known as SUMX, right? SUMX function, or rather, I'm using the sum function. This is the sum function. Now, in the sum function, what I want to do, I want multiply to rather sum x will do right now. Now, the sum function, the syntax of the sum function is that I am using few of the values of the different tables. I'm using the value quantity, right, from the fact. So my thing will be here fact table because I'm using the column of the fact table. So this is the fact table, right? So what I want to do, I want to develop an expression from the column of the fact table, right? So this is the fact table. I'm using the quantity Q, T, Y. So this is fact table. And then multiply it with the price. Now here is the thing that you should be. Since the data model is related, fact table is related to the product table. And I want to develop an expression from getting a value of the price which is in the product and it to a quantity which is in the fact table. So I have to use related function here. This is related, and the product I'm using the price, right? So this is it. Now this DEX function will give the same answer, will give the same answer, right? But with the help of this, there is no need to create two calculated columns. Okay, I'm just, and we will see that we have total sales in the Meyer. Now I have the Meyer, right? I have the Meyer, this is the total sales. And if I select this one and I have the total sale, and you see what will happen. So I have the total sale and the values are exactly the same, right? Values are exactly the same. So this is a Meyer, right? And total sale, I've used a fact quantity from the fact table and the price of the product table, getting it multiplied and putting the result in the total sales. This is the measure. But if you look at this fact table, we have the product price, we have the product, we have the sales, and these are not required. These calculated columns are not required if we this type of measures, right? So now it's question time. Yes, Feroz, if there is any question from the
Yes.
audience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, got some questions. Ari Heather wants to know what's the difference between sum x and sum.
Okay. Uh, there are contexts to be learned, right? There are contexts to be learned. Let me write another measure just to differentiate uh, the difference between this. I have this table. Uh, I have this table, which is the fact table, right? Now, look at here. I have one. So what can I do? I can sum this column just like here. Let me uh, write a measure here, right? New measure. And what I'm doing here now, this is the measure. I'm just T sales now. This is the T, and I'm using a sum, right? And here, what I'm doing sum the fact sales. Now, if you look at this particular measure, in this measure, one column to sum it, right? So I'm summing all the values of the column of sales, right? So if I press enter, I have another measure with the name T sales. I can use it in this and I will get the same answer. But what happened in the total sale, which is the sum x, in the sum x, x will change the behavior of uh, this expression because it has a row context. It has a row context means that if you look at these two columns and we have these rows, now it will get the value of quantity from this and then multiply the value of from this column from different topic. So we have row wise calculation here. We multiply by row wise, right? This will help us in getting the right answers if we have the sum x and getting the values from different tables, right? Whereas in total sales, we have we have we have context is in this case is the column context. We have the row context, we have the column context. So in sum x, the expression that we will be developing, and if he has to take care of the if the expression values from the different tables, uh, we have to have the row context, which means that the values of the different rows should be aligned together, should be used together, and that we have to do. I hope that answers. Any other question?
Yes, Khurram. Let me check. Can you please repeat the syntax of sum x function?
Okay, sum x function. Okay, let me do it from here. Let me have a note. Okay, let me it by creating another function. This is the Meyer, right? New Meyer, and I. So this is the test Meyer. Test M is equal to sum x, and this is the case. So this is the syntax. Sum x, the table on which we are getting the values for the expression, right? We have the expression. Then, right? Table, the base column for which the expression is built from. And we have the expression means the equation that we are using. So this is the syntax for the sum x function. So the syntax is different in some function, in some DAX function, there is no need to write the table, only the expression, right? Yes, any other question? And this will be the last question. Yes.
Okay. Mohammed Riafat, he wants to know how to change backend fact sheet data after applying multiple filters.
Okay. Can you repeat your question? Today is your voice is not as good actually.
Wait. Mohammed Riafat wants to know how to change back end fact sheet data after applying multiple filters.
Backsheet data. Okay. Remember one thing. Um, if I understand your question correctly, we have a data source somewhere, right? Maybe in the SQL database. What actually we did, we create a connection from that data source and pulling all the data in our data table. So this is our data model, right? This is our data model. And in this data model, all the data is there, right? Where we get the filtered data in this table, but that is another thing that we need to do. For example, at times we have to use a query, right, in order to fetch only that data which is filtered. So that is a different thing. But the thing is that whatever data which is present in any or any of the data sources, we have pulled that data into our data model, right? Created few Meyers, and then putting using these Meyers and put them into a visualization, right? Visualization. For filters that we are applying here, right? That may be used only to filter data in this canvas, right? For example, okay, there is another scenario where we want to filter this data. Rather, I don't want to show the data for example, a product B, right? Or maybe the Faisalabad. So what I can do, I can make use of this filter option, right? And look at here what I have here. We have the product. So what I can filter is, right? For example, I only want to use the data from select all and then, for example, a, a product B. Now this report is filtered. This dashboard, this table is filtered, and we don't have any information uh, other product B. So in order to get this data back, we just need to go to this table by selecting it, right, and going back it and getting all uh, and removing this If that question, because your uh, voice is today is very strange. It's not audible properly. If that is the question, that is the answer. That's what I've understood. So backend data is only changed by the database administrator, right? Uh, Making use of the data into the Power BI. So Power BI only using the data. It cannot changes the data. Yes, it may change the data to some extent for the data model, but it will remain for the data model. It is not for the changing the data into the data source. I hope that answers. Right?
Hold on, we need to check one more question.
Okay.
Ali Heather wants to know, why did you write related in the total sales formula and why is it important? Can you just write product TB right after?
Okay, Ali Heather, I
Yes.
want you to uh, do this by your own, okay, and provide us your experience that what happened, right? That you should do. Now, the thing that what why I write the term related here. Okay, the why I use, for example, here, if you look at here, this is related. It means that I am getting the values of the price, the product table, because this table is related with the fact table. I'm going to the relationship mode. If you look at here, this table is related to the product and from the code. If you look at here, we have the code and we have the product code. Product code is in the fact table. Code is only the product TB. I can get the value of the product description, right? In If these are not related, then we won't be able to get the right information. Okay, let me do with this. For example, if you just I'm clicking the plus sign to move to the second page. So this is the visualization I want to this table, right? This is the blank table, and in this table, I want to get the value of the product. Now this is the product, right? So this is the product. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm getting the value of the products, but from there. So I want to fetch the description. There is no description in the fact table, right? There is no description in the fact table. But what are present? Only product code. I will get the description from the product table. This is the product table. And look, here I have the product. So if I click this, I can get the value of this. I can even get the value of the profit margins. And right. So if I'm just removing it, product description, sorry, price and description. Now I want to get the value of city. So what I have product code. Look at here. This is the product, but I want to get the value of what city. So let's check it city. So this is city. So what I get, I will get this thing 1122 because the instances of product code are different. So this will give you some sort of a strange, although what I get is understandable, but maybe it looks very odd to you. So that is why we have used the DEX function related, because these two tables are related to each other. So we have created a relationship one-to-many with the uh, code of the fact table in order to get values from the product code based on the values of product code in this table. So I can fetch the value of price, product, and the profit margin based on this product code because it is related with this. So that is the reason we have used the related function. Simply look at here. Let me get the new uh, uh, calculated column. This is new Mayer. Now, what you will see, I want profit margin. So is a new, uh, there has to be, this is not Mayer. I want to have a new column. So new column right here. So this is the new column here. And in this column, I want to get the profit margin. Profit. So how do I know that this product code has some sort of a profit margin? Because since this table, fact table, is related to the fact table, so whatever table it has, it just fetch the profit margin value of this code from the product table because of the relationship. Let me use the related. So this is related, and then just get the profit margin. This is the profit margin, and that's it. It's the simple stuff. So you will get, it is just like I told you earlier, it is just like uh, the VLOOKUP function. So it means this is the lookup value. Product code is the VLOOKUP value, and we want to fetch the value of the function based on this. So that's what a related function is. Yes, any, I don't think we should have any question, or we should go for a question answer session since we are left with 20 minutes. So what do you want to do? I want to go further. You want me to continue with the question answer session? Yes, Firoz.
I think there aren't any
Those
much questions. You can go for the planned course.
okay, fine. Now we have this, right? So let's go for this. I'm going back to this. Now there is one thing I want to have something that I need to look at because this is the sales data, and I want to have something need to be uh, transformed into an information in terms of a timeline. Now I can, I have, let me remove this. Now I want to get the value of fact. This is the fact, right? This is the date. So I have this date. So this is the date. Now what I want to know, this is the sale, right? This is the sale. Okay, I have this. So this is the Faisalabad sale, right? This is the Karachi sales, and so on and so forth. This is the Lahore sale. It keep on changing. But what I want to know, I want to look at this data, look at this table in terms of month, maybe week, maybe, right? So that is my objective. We don't have any date table, although we have a date here. So now what we will do, we will making use of this date table, date column. We will create another table right? Now we are creating a calculated table. Now, what we have learned so far, we know how to create a calculated column. We have learned how to develop a measure using simple DEX function. Now we will be learning how we can create a calculated column, right? So that's we are doing it, and then we, based on this table that we will create, we will induct it into our data model and then create a required relationship, and then we will be able to transform this data in terms of months, days, etc., etc. Right? What I'm doing now, I am creating another column. So let's go back here. So this is what I have. So what I want to do, I want to create the table, right? I want to create another table, which is a new table. So calculation, a new table. So the table name, this is the table name. The table name may be the date table, date TB, right? Date TB, I have a table. Then how can I create a big table? So we have a name, a DEX function, which is known as calendar. So this is calendar. And calendar is asking for the start date and an end date, right? Start date and end date. I have two alternatives. One alternative is that I can create a date table based on this calendar by specifying any start date. Maybe it is, example, this is the another date function. Date, we have started with, for example, year is 2015, right? The month is 1, the day is 1. That is my start date, right? Now the end date is, uh, I'm expecting that my business will flourish and go on. Maybe it is another date function, and it has 20, uh, for example, uh, 90. Then this is the day, and sorry, this is the month, and this is the day. So that is one strategy, that you can create a table, but the time frame will be this. The start date will be the 1st of January 2015, and end date is this much. But there is better strategy that you can use uh, the table value, which is the date, right? And the start date and the end date from the table, and this will help you in getting your data model minimized, right? And it will become more efficient. Now, in order to get the value from the fact table or these dates, what we can do, I'm using another DEX function, which is known as min function. Now, what min functions can do, I need a date, right, from the fact table. Fact table, this is the fact table, and I'm closing it. Now, this is the first start date. Now, this is the fact date. What it's getting, it will return the first date, the right, the first date, earliest date. Maybe the first June, first in this table, there might be uh, a date or the first transaction that occurs, maybe the 1st January 2016, maybe, or 2017, maybe. If that is the first date, right, or the earliest, then it has to be the start date, and the main function will return that date. Now the comma, then I have the max function. What max function return? It will return the latest date. Latest date. So we have the fact table. This enter, and we have enter. So this will fetch the date. Okay, the 1st January 2017 is the earliest date, or the first transaction that occurs on this date, right? And the last transaction that occur on this date, we can get uh, uh, this is the 31st of July 2019, right? So this is the last date of this. So we have the date now. We have the date now, and what we want to do, our objective is to uh, create a relationship. First of all, we want to create a relationship with, we have actually get the value of the date from the fact table. So it means it has to be related with the fact table. And again, that date table contain only one instance of a particular date. So what I meant, so the 1st January 2017 occurs only once in this table. So all these dates occurs only once in this table. So go back to here, and we have the date table and related it with the date. So we have the date here, we have the date here, and the relationship we have just created, it is one to many. Now go back to the date table. We want to analyze our data or present our data month-wise or year-wise. Then we need to have certain columns, right? Here we need columns, maybe columns for year. So we have to create a new calculator. So we have the new column here. So these are the instances where we have to use the calculated columns. So this is the calculated column, and we want year. So year is the name of the column, and we want to fetch the date from this. So I have a function, dex function year. So this is year, and I want to fetch year from this date, which is the date, right? So date tb, and this is what I got, right? And click enter. So what I will get, I will hear year. So this is, we have now go back here. I want to present this data in terms of year. So I have a date table somewhere. This is the date table now. Now this is the date table. I want to present this data or the sales in year. So this is the year now. I'm dragging it here. This is year. We have 3 years now: 2017, 2018, and 2019. I want to get the value of sales from here. This is the sales. So I'm putting it here. So the data is now in terms of year. Now I want to get this information yearly. Yearly means that I want to have information of these particular years. So what can I do? Uh, I have to go back to the date table. I have to insert a new column, right? New column, and I have to make two another calculated columns. One is, for example, then we have the month, M1TH month. I need to get the month, right? So I need to get the months where I have the month function of date db, and this is the date, and this is what I will get. Now this is the month, but I will have get 1 1. So it doesn't make any sense. So what can I do? I can have get it formatted. Format is another DEX function, right? Uh, this is right. Let me, okay, let me do this format. and the value is date TV. This is the date. Then the format. Format is, for example, MMMM. So this will give the January, February, March, April, whatever we have. So we have the January, right? So we have the January, February, everything. So let me present this data. Let me present this data month-wise. So we have 2017, 2018, and 2019 data, and we want to present this data monthly. So we have the date table, the value of month, and put it here. And let's see what will happen. Now look at here, there is something wrong somewhere. That is, although we get the value of April, so this is, let me put it, move it back. So we have April, we have August, we have December, we have February. So the data is, the month is not in a particular sequence. We all know that January is the first month, February is the second month, but we have April, August, and December. So we need to somehow fix this as well. We have to start with the January, February, March. So in order to control this thing, we need to go back to the date table, need another column, need another calculated column, which gives us the month number, which gives the month number. So this is the month number, maybe month number, and the month number is MONTH, month, and this is, and we have okay, not we have month. Month is the text function I'm using. This is the month date. Okay, Feroz,
Yes,
am I
you're audible.
connected?
Yes.
Okay, apparently uh, I was disconnected. Okay, anyhow.
Forum, yes, in between you were disconnected.
Okay. Okay, fine. Let me very, very quickly go through what I did in that time. Okay, what I don't know what actually, where were we when we disconnected? Uh, okay, let me. So what actually I did, I have table, the date table, by adding two calculated column. One is for year and one is for month. By sampling, this is the month, this is the year. I'm getting the year value from this date, so I have this value, right? And then I have the month by just month function, and then the format. So I'm formatting this value of the date in terms of months. So I've got the month, and I've used the month function in order to get the month. Now the problem is this. Now the problem was this, that when I use here the month, then it is not sorted properly. So I of this column month number and sorted by this. So I want to sort this column, right, based on this. So I've used this sort by column. So this is the sort by column. So I want to sort month column with reference to the month number. So I click this, and then whenever this is sorted and displayed, it will be displayed in terms of this order. So that is the thing what actually I was explaining and discussing where I was disconnected. So this is now you can see we have the data simply in place. This is the date-wise data, but this is the year month-wise data. We can even transform that data into week-wise with the DEX function week, right? Week number. We can look at this data from different perspective tomorrow, but today what we can do, I can make use of this data. Right now I have the measures I have today, so I will be making very quickly a small mini dashboard, right? So in this case I want to present my uh, filter my data in terms of year. So this is the filter that I'm using, right? So let it be. I have this, and I want to have a table. Now I'm getting it from the buyer table. So I have the total sales here, right? And it should be okay. So I want it to be present by the city. So I have the city here. Okay. The city, it has to be on the x-axis, and city, the values is on the y-axis. So I have one, right? This is okay. This is the sales, and I want to have the same data, but in terms of the product. Here is the product here, right? And I want to be looking at this data in terms of the quantity, and this is the quantity. I can use it, this quantity, and putting it here. So this is one way. Okay. And I want to have a table that I got from this here, right? But I want to not this rather month. This is the month. Where is the month? Okay, here is the month. This is the month, and this is the sales. Yeah, this is the sales. So we have this data with us. Okay, so there is a problem with mouse. Okay, we have one table, right? Right now, this will show the data of the 3 years. But what I want the data to be, okay, let me convert this with the drop down. So I have the drop down here. So we have the, let it be say 2019. So we have this data of 2019 because we know that the data This data set contained only data until July of yes 2019. So we have 2116. That is the sale, right? This is the product. You can transform it into a something, this sort of a visual. Okay, this is actually this visual into a right. So we have another table. Okay. So this represent the city-wise sales. This represent the quantity sale. This represent the month-wise sale, right? We can also put. I can put the quantity here, right? Not here. The quantity, putting the quantity here. So I have the quantity here. Now look at this. What we can, if I want to get the data of a particular city, for example, I know this is the Faisalabad sale. So if I click, what I'm clicking the visualization, the bar of Faisalabad from P-sales by city. Now look what happened. The data is filtered, right? The rest of the reports are also filtered. Now this table only represents the data of Faisalabad, right? And this represents only the highlighted data is only for uh, uh, the products sold in Faisalabad. If I use this method, which is 2, for example, now this is the information. I filtered this table, right, with this slicer. I've also filtered this table with this visualization. So this is how you can look at the data from different perspective, right? So what we have learned today, we have discussed the basics of the Power BI Excel. We have learned what is the data model. We have discussed how we created a relational data model. We have discussed what is a relationship. We have seen that how we can import data from Excel. We also discuss the column, the measures. We have discussed the calculated table, and we have very briefly look into the visualizations, that how we can make use of these data models and the DEX and the measures to be used on uh, on the canvas, right? And how we can make an interaction with the visualization, right? So that's what we have done so far. We will start from here. So today is a slow, because I want some of the concepts to be clarified, so that you should have, you understand it clearly. If these concepts are understood, then the remaining 3 sessions uh, will be, I think, easy for you. And by, because I have to uh, do a fast conduction of the session. Tomorrow, the day after, and the remaining sessions will be fast-paced, right? Highly paced. So these are the things that you should understand. You should apply these concepts, right? Tomorrow we will some more complex DEX functions, and we will also learn how to format uh, these visualizations, right? So that's what is from my side. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Yes, thank you very much, Khurram. Khurram, I think For some of the participants, it was a bit difficult to retain, all the content, especially the dashboard part.
Harun, I think there is an issue. I don't know what is it. I'm I'm unable
I
to.
would request you to repeat the dashboard part tomorrow at the start of the session.
Okay, okay, I will do that. I will.
Picked up from from the WhatsApp group. That's the feedback that I've picked up. Thank you very much. I think it was very detailed, but not very fast paced today. But of course, after 2 hours of continuous pouring of information, people do get exhausted. So apologies for that.
I already told them that the remaining
Dashboard.
session will be fast paced.
Yeah, so I was suggesting, what tips, what suggestions do you give them for being prepared or keeping up, with the pace? So tomorrow in the session beginning, I know it's overtime right now, so let's close the session now. But tomorrow at the start, if you can tell them some tips and tricks to keep up pace, that'll be appreciated.
Okay, okay, I will do that.
And all right, thank you very much. Let's take some rest. I know, most of you have been working in the mornings, studying in the evenings. I'm a little kind-hearted today, so we just giving you your time back. Thank you very much. Take good care of yourself, and see you tomorrow. Okay, and I
Okay,
hope
okay.
with higher energy and with the energy to keep up as well. Okay. All right. Thank you very
Okay,
much. Take good care of yourselves. Thank you, Feroz. Thank you, Khurram.
okay. Take care. Bye bye.